to record the meeting. Okay, it's now being recorded. I'm going to start over again. My name is Jocelyn Campbell. I've introduced the board members already. Today is April 20th. It is 5:05 p.m. And we are recording this meeting tonight. It's the Nahant Zoning Board of Appeals. And with me tonight is myself, Jocelyn Campbell, and also David Walsh is on via telephone tonight. We have Peter Barber, Max Casper, Michael Raworth, and David McCool, all board members here for you tonight. I'm going to read the advertisement in a moment, and then we will start hearing from Mr. Tomas as to his application. It's a continuation of a previous application. I see we have a couple of new citizen members who are on the phone tonight, and if they have any comments, we'll hear them as well, even though we did hear public comment last time. We'll certainly ask anybody who's here if they'd like to be heard. All right, so I'll get started with the next step, which is to read the notice of the hearing. Normally we have someone else do this, but it's kind of easier right now with COVID to do this via electronic. So the public hearing on the petition filed by Relaine and Edwards Tomas for the property located at 79 Wilson Road, Nahant, seeking a special permit. The inspector of buildings has denied a building permit because the proposed alterations are in violation of section 5.03 of the zoning bylaws of the town of Nahant, where the proposed floor area ratio is 75% and the maximum allowed is 45%. This notice was re-advertised because we felt there was an error last time, so we had to continue the matter and re-advertised it on April 6th and 13th for the public. Okay. So, Mr. Tomas, if you could tell us where you are at and what you have going on.
Well, so I'm back. Nothing really has changed. So trying to get the special permit. And for those who joined and don't know the entire situation, essentially I'm asking for a special permit to enclose existing deck on the second floor, which would add 239 square foot to the floor area, as well as the roof deck on top, which wouldn't add any square footage. In addition to those 239 square feet, I would ask to add another 144 square feet to the floor area by enclosing back entrance. Same thing, it's already part of existing structure. So I'll stay within the same footprint. The height stays the same as of right now. I have a little pergola, so that's essentially would be the new roof deck. And to satisfy the special permit, I believe the proposed building or use will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing building or use. Just to reinforce that, I'll make sure to make it tasteful, so it blends in nicely. I talked to all the neighbors; they all aware of this. Pretty much everybody is in support. I haven't heard anybody really voicing any concerns so far. That's essentially the case. I'm open to any additional questions, or if you need any more information from my end.
Okay. Okay, so does anyone have any questions for Mr. Tomas? Any board members, that is?
On the side enclosure, I think it's, I mean, it's kind of funny because it actually looks enclosed now. I mean, you're just going to basically add walls and door, correct?
Essentially just a wall down. Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, I mean, the stairs stay everything the same, but by enclosing it, technically I'm adding 144 square feet.
Yep.
I calculated with Wayne. So, because it would become kind of 2 stories, because you have to calculate the first floor, 77 square feet in the second. That's how it would be.
Okay.
Yeah. More questions?
All right. So any other questions from the board members for the applicant?
Nope.
Okay. So at this point in time, the applicant has presented his case. We've asked for any questions from the board. Before we go into deliberation, I'd like to know if there's anyone here who would like to speak in favor of the applicant.
Diane Urani and my husband Dennis are in favor. Did it come up?
Yes, we heard you. Thank you.
Okay. And I think you spoke in favor last time, did you not, ma'am?
Yes,
You still have your address from last time, so we have to put that in our notes.
6 James Ave.
Okay, it makes it easier if you just give it to me. Okay. Is there
looks
anyone else who'd like to speak in favor? Okay. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak in opposition of the applicant? The application, not the applicant. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak in opposition of the applicant's application? I see 2 people attending, listening, Ms. Haynes and Mr. Fields. Okay. Okay, so we've heard from the public comment now. Now we will go into our deliberation. This is when we have a conversation amongst board members only. And we'll ask you questions if anything comes up, Mr. Tomas, okay? Okay, so everybody, what do you think? Should everybody get a chance to go by the property? Take a look
Yep.
at it?
I did go by today and look at it, and I don't have a problem with it at all.
It's almost going to look identical to the house right next door. Like,
Yep.
I did the same thing, David.
And I'll say something because I was just concerned as I went by last time and this time too. I'm concerned about the congestion over there, and you know, just because we've got 10 or 20, even 20 people, I think this time we've got like 8 or so people who have you know, spoke in favor of the application. That's not what is not detrimental, I don't think. I just want to say that. We need to make sure that this work isn't going to be making things worse over there on Wilson Road in terms of the congestion. Also, this is going to be a really big job. Just enclosing it involves, at least Max would know more than me, but it involves taking down the whole porch, the whole thing. You have to dig up the ground, you have to put down new footings. It's going to be an expensive, big job. So I don't know. And also, the place just seems like it really went so close. It was already at the 75%. I just had some reservations when I saw it the second time. Anybody else feel anything like that?
I don't really. I mean, you could say that about pretty much every house in Little Nahant almost, and most of the houses in Bass Point. And
I'm on a meeting.
Michael, are you all right? So I mean, I don't know. I see what you're saying, Jocelyn, but you know, I don't think that just adding on to houses in a place that is already has congestion because of the historical nature of it, I don't think that is automatically detrimental. And I think, you know, I mean, it can factor in and it can be at times, but you know, this isn't an extreme project, and you know, we're here to grant appropriate relief. Like that's the reason we exist. We're not here to have a hard line that everything follows the bylaw that nothing in town even really complies with for the most part. So no, I don't totally, you know, agree, I guess, but understand what you're saying as well.
I just feel like sometimes, like, where does it ever end? And if we look at our purpose as a zoning board, you know, what are we doing sometimes? I feel like it just never stops, you know, and this is just going to add to that.
Well, it doesn't ever stop. And I mean, I look at our purpose as like the guardians of it, and we need to make sure it doesn't go too far, right? But I really do see us as granting relief when it is appropriate. And and that can be difficult when you look at it like big picture, because yeah, everything we're granting is making more and more space in a town that doesn't have a lot of space, but you know, that's kind of a reality. I don't think we can take the perspective that, like, you know, no more building in Nahant. Nahant's too congested. I think that's a little too extreme.
Well, I'm not saying because Nahant's too congested. That particular neighborhood is extremely congested. And this is just going to make matters worse. This property is almost right at the lot lines. There's very little in the front, sides, there's almost nothing. But I agree with you that, I mean, you're just taking a footprint and sticking with it. But like I said, it's going to be a huge job. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be disturb the neighborhood. Hopefully it can be done quickly. But anyway, I just wanted to think about that because the last couple of times that we've met, I noticed that, like, we seem to, like, always be falling back on that not detrimental, which is the standard. But then again, you know, aren't we supposed to be, you know, watching out for this congestion and the light and the air and all these things, you know? So I just wanted to
Jocelyn,
comment or?
I think I'm on the same plane as Max. I kind of agree with you. If we wanted to stop congestion in a little Nahant, you know, this zoning board would have started 100 years ago. And, you know, unfortunately, we are the zoning board of appeals. We're the ones who can grant relief. And I think that until our zoning bylaws are written a little more strictly, you know, have a little more, I don't know. I feel that, you know, this is one of those situations where the owner is staying within the footprint. And I don't think that adding, you know, the essentially 3 walls to the second story deck is going to be substantially detrimental to the neighborhood and add to, you know, more congestion.
I disagree with you, Peter, regarding the zoning bylaws, because I think that it's already in there. It already says in the bylaws what our purpose is and what those requirements are. And I'm not sure, you know, the fact that the definition of a special permit is that it's not more detrimental to the neighborhood is not a problem. But I guess if we have to just decide what's more detrimental and what's not, that's what's hard for us sometimes. And this, you know, when I saw how tight it was again, and I just was like, you know, I just wanted to talk about it. That's all. Let's see how everybody else felt. Deliberation.
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
and I think oh, sorry. I think the term substantially detrimental is also a. Does this make it more detrimental? Substantially more detrimental? Definitely not.
I can see that.
Just-
In the footprint.
Yeah, and with the support of the neighbors, not one person spoke in opposition, and I agree with some of the other sentiments that were voiced. That he's staying within the structure's footprint and the height not changing, and the support of the neighborhood. And, you know, we could just say, you know, the construction be done with, you know, maybe agreement of the neighbors on a staging area. Maybe that stuff needs to be more well planned out, or maybe we can just, you know, say you'll designate a particular staging area so it doesn't disrupt neighbors, things like that, the neighborhood.
I mean, I think there's plenty of room, and that if I'm not mistaken, what I saw is 4. I think there were 3 cars in the lot, but I think you could put 4, which gives you enough space for, you know, your dumpsters and your construction stuff to happen right there in the driveway. But again, it's no different than essentially the 2 houses that just went up on the corner of Pond and Nahant Road. Yes, there were some days when traffic was rerouted, or there was, you know, a lot of congestion due to that construction. But that happens at every project, you know, unless you're, you know, we don't have the luxury of, you know, unless you're, I don't know, doing a major project up in the 40 Steps area, or, you know, where the property, there's a lot more property. You know, as far as the congestion goes, I guess it's part of living in Nahant.
I guess I would question, you know, what
what we have by way of evidence that this proposed change would indeed be detrimental, or let alone substantially detrimental. There was advertising, so that means the neighbors, in fact, the neighborhood would have been on notice that this is going on. And not only has nobody come forward to speak against it, but nobody's come forward to suggest any evidence that there would be a problem by way of our approving this request.
Well, the only evidence that I can see would be the floor area ratio, which is going to increase to 75%. There's been times that we've denied applications based on a 5% change when people have opposed. So I just wanted to talk about that issue because sometimes we don't always seem to talk about it, but I just wanted, it was kind of bothering me, so I wanted to raise it. All right, does anybody want to sum up? Anybody want to bring a motion or anything?
I'll make a,
Let me
Go ahead.
suggest by way of, for the sake of good order, that any motion take up the subsidiary finding first. So we have that in the record before the actual committee action.
Spoken like a true person who wrote the minutes last time.
so I'd like to make a motion that we determine the finding that this is not substantially detrimental to the neighborhood.
I'll second that motion.
It was seconded by David Walsh.
No, by Peter Barba, seconded.
You brought the motion. Who seconded it? Was it David?
Right.
Yeah, David Walsh. Yeah. Yeah, we have to do that roll call thing, remember?
Yes, so he seconded the motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor, please give me a roll call response.
Peter Barber, aye.
David Walsh, aye.
David McCool, aye.
Max Casper, aye.
Jocelyn Campbell. Well, I guess he's got the 4 out of 5, so I'm going to say no. So. All right. After the finding, do we have another motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the special permit for this project as outlined in the paperwork.
I'll second that motion. David Walsh.
And so you're saying, Peter, that it has to be built as prepared?
Yes,
Okay,
yep,
any discussion on the motion?
as presented.
Any discussion, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Peter Barber, aye.
David Walsh, aye.
David McCool, aye.
Max Casper, aye.
Jocelyn Campbell, I'm going to say no. Okay, so we have a special permit for Mr. Tomas, and we're going to get that filed within the next 2 weeks for you with the town hall, sir. And then there's a 20-day appeal period once we get the decision filed. And that's it. Then you're going to be good to go. You do need to record the decision at the Registry of Deeds. And the Kim at the building department will give you instructions on how to do that.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah, if I may add, one of the concern was obviously construction zone. I will be very mindful because I'm aware of that. It's pretty substantial project, and you know,
Okay.
just
Do you understand that?
obviously those are my neighbors.
That was granted, sir. You have to build the property exactly as you presented it to us. There can be no changes, okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
the
good luck
plan
to you.
I submitted, right?
Yep,
Good luck to you. We look forward to seeing the progress.
Okay,
thank you.
be quick.
Thank
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So that's it, guys. Anybody want to bring a motion? I'll bring a motion. A motion to adjourn,
I'll
Seconded.
second
the
that.
motion.
Peter Barber,
seconded by Peter Barber. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Peter Barber,
Aye.
aye.
David Walsh, aye.
David McCool, aye.
Aye.
Jocelyn Campbell, aye. Thanks, everyone. And I'll see you on
Thanks.
May
Take
3rd.
care.
May 3rd,
All
our
right.
next meeting, right?
May 3rd.
Then May 17th.
May 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the one where
Before you go, we have one more. We have 3 more matters to schedule, and I'll send you an email on it, okay? 3 new
Three
matters.
more matters?
3 new ones, 3, on top of those
Wow.
already scheduled.
so we have, because right now we have Dignan, Jenkins, and, ooh, I don't have my paperwork in front of me. And I need to abstain from one of them because it's a neighbor.
Okay, can you send me an email, let me know, because I have
Yep.
to abstain from one of them. I have to recuse myself from one myself.
I did send you, that's Dignan.
Yeah.
The Dignan one I won't be able to
Okay.
do.
The other one is DeJong up at 238 Wilson.
Okay.
So we have 3 new ones. There's DeJong, Jenkins, and there's one more.
Monroe. Brooks and Monroe.
No,
Maletti.
Moletti
Moletti.
is already on the schedule.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And that,
I'll send you a summary email so you have it all. But we've got 2 scheduled for May 3rd.
oh,
Right.
just 2? I thought it was 3.
Well, I had to move one of them to May 17th because 2 of you recused yourselves from it. Max, you and David.
Oh, okay.
So Moletti's been moved to May 17th and Michael's going to agree to sit in, and Caitlin.
Oh, great. Okay.
Giving her a little
Great.
break for the next week because she just had the baby. But she's going to come back on the 17th of May and sit in for Moletti. So we have enough people.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
what ones are on May 3rd then?
I'll tell you 1 second. Let me open up my thing and then I can even share my screen maybe. Let's see here.
Because I'm showing 3, but I'm confused.
I got right in front of me, I have 116 Wilson.
Yeah.
I got yeah, that's Carl. Oh, wait a minute. Willow, I'm sorry. Carl Jenkins, 116 Willow. We got DeJong, which is 238 Wilson. And Benjamin Brooks and Angela Monroe is 51 Simmons Road. And then we have Dignan and Moletti.
Everybody see my screen? Here's the,
Yep.
Yeah.
what do you call it? Excel sheet. So we're doing Tomas tonight, and then we have on the 17th Moletti, Ron Petrucci and Sean and Jennifer Dignan on the 3rd.
Right.
So we have 35 Castle Road and 51 Pond on the 3rd, and then we haven't scheduled yet these 3: 51 Simmons, 116 Willow.
Is it possible to do any of those on the 3rd, or is that too soon?
It's too soon.
Okay.
We can maybe do them on the 17th, because the one that we're doing, like Caitlin and Michael and us, we can all do that one first, then we could start the next hearing at 5:30 and do the other 3 on the 17th if you want.
That's the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned.
Just get them over with all at once.
Yeah, I mean, why bump it off into maybe a night in June when we could all be sitting on the beach?
Right. Okay, so one of them, so far, who do we have for recusals? Tell me again, which one is it?
This is David Walsh. I'm a recusal on the Petrucci
Petrucci.
because
Yes.
I'm in a butter.
Okay. So I know that I've got, I'm just gonna put your name right here for the moment, just so I don't forget, because I've been wanting to fill this in. I'll make a little thing for another column for this purpose in a minute. But Max, you also recused yourself from this one, right?
No, I recused myself from Moletti, which I thought Dave did as well.
I did also.
But I also have a recusal in the next 3 as well. I'll be recusing from 116 Willow Road.
Okay. I may have to recuse myself from that one as well.
Jeez. Now remember, just because you know people doesn't mean you need to recuse yourself.
Well,
I know.
And the reason I say that is we live in a small town, and this goes back to Paul Morse and a few of the other folks when I first got on. There was somebody who I knew in town was coming in front of the board, and I said, well, I happen to know that, I'm going to say, I happen to know that person pretty well. And they said, well, do you think you can be unbiased? And, if you do, then you could do it. So, I mean, I happen to know Carl and Linda Jenkins. I happen to know, you know, Rick Maletti. You know, I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, I worked for Rick for 3 years. I know him really well. I definitely couldn't be unbiased.
and that's fine. That's perfect. That's exactly what it's for, you know. Again, so Sean and Jen Dignan are, while they're not direct abutters, you know, I can look out my office window and see the back of their house. They're separated by literally 1 yard, and I just feel like that I couldn't be, you know, I couldn't be unbiased for that.
You are an abutter if you're within 300 feet.
All right, then I'm gonna butter.
Yeah. That's what we define and as a.
I always thought it was just the next house over or whatever.
That's a direct abutter.
Yeah.
That's a direct abutter, and then an abutter is anybody within 300 feet. So I'm an abutter.
All right, so I have to think about the Jenkins one because I know them. I don't know very many people in Nahant, but I do know them. So.
I mean, I know them as well.
I've been out to dinner with
I know him as well.
my boss.
Well,
I mean, that's the problem that we have is in a small town like this is we only have so many members. And again, it's personal on whether you think you can be unbiased or not. And I mean.
Okay. All right, so right now, what I've got for recusals is on Maletti, David and Max, Petrucci, David, Dignan, Peter, and Jenkins, Max, and possibly me.
So I got a question on what happens if I decided that, you know, that for the Jenkins, so it was Jocelyn, Max, and myself. Now we don't have enough members. How does that work?
Exactly. And so I need to think about it. Although I don't know them really well, like I said, I was at a dinner with them once with my boss. I need to think about it. Maybe I might call the hotline and ask them.
I mean, I know them fairly well. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to functions where they're there and I've spoken to them. They're nice, friendly people. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
Right.
It was some business relationship somewhere or something, you know.
No, I don't have
I
any.
wrote the enforcement letter because Wayne's doing the project and I'm the alternate inspector. So I don't think I can.
Right.
I can
Yeah, that might be a little
Yeah.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean, I've been to parties at their old house. I mean, you know, I don't know. I think Jocelyn, I think I'd be more of a risk than you if it came down to it. I mean, if you went to a dinner with your boss once and they were there, I don't think that that's something. Again, you have to decide for yourself whether you think you could be impartial or not.
Yeah. All right, I'll think
Jocelyn-
about it and I'll maybe call
Jocelyn,
the
I
hotline.
think-
Right now, I'll take myself off. I'll leave myself on there for now, like in terms of like, I won't recuse myself right now. In case, Peter, you feel like you have to, because my relationship is not that close. So,
Right.
So
John-
what would we do if the applicant was Dave Conlon, somebody whom everybody knows?
Right.
I
Or
could sit on that. I
Yeah.
could sit on that, Dave Collin. No problem.
I
So
don't know.
you're one.
well, I'm gonna throw one out even more of a curveball. What if it was Mike Raworth? We all sit on the committee with him. No, I'm serious. So what if it was me? I mean,
We
you know,
definitely have to sit on it. Yeah, that's
you know, I mean, so is there ever a precedence where, and I'm just curious, like if let's say it was, I don't know, let's say it was Jocelyn or one of us that was putting in an application, would there be a precedence for us to say, hey, Swampscott, would you mind hearing one of our board of, you know, I don't even know if that's
You can go to the
legal or.
state if you have to. I think the state can do it. Something like
that's
that.
just the fringe benefit of being on the board. You get anything you want approved, Peter. You didn't know that?
Now you
I'm not
told me.
doing any work, so no.
My-
Actually, Max, just so you know, that's being recorded.
All right, so while you guys are chit chatting, does everybody want to do this on the 17th and get it over with? Like do the other ones? I'll see if I can get the ad in time.
Yeah, I would
Do I have
definitely.
time to do the ad? Let me see my calendar. Today's the 20th. If I tell Kim's away this week, so 30th would be.
Hold on, I
I'll
gotta
try
make
to do
sure.
it. If I can't, I'll let you know. Okay?
Okay,
I only have till 6:30 on the 17th. I have town meeting with Swampscott. So I can go from 5 till 6:37.
So could we put Jenkins, because you're not going to sit for Jenkins, if we made sure Jenkins was later in the evening, you're going to step out anyways.
Yeah, and Maletti I'm not doing. So if you wanted to do anything other than Jenkins and Maletti, just put those other ones first.
Well, Maletti's already scheduled for 5 and it's already been advertised.
Right.
So
So you can do that one right away and then jump into the others and then leave Jenkins for last or later.
Okay. My only concern now is that Kim's away this week, and I'm
Yep.
not sure I can get the ad in time, but I will try. If I can't,
Okay.
you want to give me well, I have you on the phone here. Do you want to give me a second date?
Oh,
It might be easier to get it now than via email.
24th. Oh, that's the next week. Yeah.
Is the 24th bad? Oh, that's bad for you, Max?
No, it's fine for me. I don't mind it.
So these all have to be heard by, let me see my dates here. Review special permit and the hearing dates. All right, so May, we have to go between May like 11th and June 6th, approximately. So we go to May 24th, 25th.
yeah, that's fine. Either one of those.
It's a whole week later, but
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot of moving parts, let me make a suggestion, Jocelyn, that you recapitulate the scheduling that you've finally settled on and name the particular board members that you expect to sit on each matter so that we don't find that we've misunderstood something. That gives everybody a chance to do a reality check on the matters for which they've been tapped.
okay, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll make sure I do that. I'll make a list. Make a nice list for everybody and what they're gonna hear and what they're not for the evening. Okay, I'm gonna aim for the 17th. If I can't do it, I'll do the 24th for these other 3 matters, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
okay, thank you.
I think we,
Thank you.
all righty. Take care.
Bye.